Hello students, welcome all of you. So in our last video tutorial, we were reading our geography 5th chapter, that is water. So in this video tutorial, we will complete that chapter. So first of all, let's revise some important points of this chapter. Student, when you think of water, what images come to your mind? You think of rivers, the waterfall, the pitter patter of raindrops, water of your tap. Children run, and they float the boats in rain puddles. By noon, the puddles vanish, and where does the water go? So, student, we have already read that what is the water circle, and you know that the sun heat that cause evaporation of water into vapor, and when it condense and forms clouds, from there it may falls on the land or sea in the form of rain, snow or sleet. The process by which water continuously changes its form and circles between ocean, atmosphere and land is known as the water cycle. As you can see on your screen, this is the water cycle, that the sun heat cause evaporation of water into vapor, and when the water vapor cool down, it's condensed and form clouds, and from there it may fall on the land or sea in the form of rain, snow or sleet. The process by which water continuously changes its form and circulation between ocean, atmosphere and land is known as the water cycle. Students, 71% of our earth is water. The major source of fresh water are the rivers, ponds, springs and glaciers. The ocean bodies and the sea contain salty water. The water of the ocean is salty or saline as it contains large amount of dissolved salt. So most of the salt is sodium chloride or the common table salt that you eat. So student, we have 71% of the water on our earth. That is a 71% part of the earth that is water. So, but still some places, some people are still facing water related problems. Why? Let's look at this picture. From that 100% student, this 97.3% is saline water, मीन्स वो खारा पानी है जो कि समुद्रों में है. 2.0 is ice cape and 0.68 is groundwater. Freshwater lake is only 0.009. Inland sea and salt lakes are 0.009 and atmospheric water 0.019 and rivers is 0.0001. Okay, that is the amount of total water and we can only drink this much. Students, 97% that is already ocean and that is not the drinkable water. You can compare this by this bucket. Here you can see this is the sea water and this much water is already available, that is in 20%, that is glacier and ice cape. So from this water 1% only is the groundwater, only 1% is groundwater. And that's why some places are facing water related problem, because water is not evenly divided in every part of the earth. In some parts people are getting plentiful of water, but in some parts people are facing drought. In some parts people are experiencing floods. So student, we were also reading about the terrarium. It is an artificial enclosure for keeping small house plants. Okay, that is known as the terrarium. Okay, you can also make a terrarium at your home. So terrarium, how can you make? Full 1/4 of a bag jar, fill 1/4 of a big jar with soil, and you can press it well. Put a thin layer of humus on top of it. Plant the largest plant first and then arrange the smaller ones around them. Spray the arrangement with water and close the jar. The water that evaporates from the leaves and soil condenses and falls back in the form of drops of water. Okay, so this terrarium will develop its own ecosystem, and then there will be no need to put water in it again and again. Okay, same, our earth is also like a terrarium, students. Means our earth is like a terrarium. The same water that existed centuries ago still exists today. So the water used to irrigate a field in Haryana may have flowed down the Amazon river once. So our earth is like a terrarium, you can understand, and the same water that exists centuries ago still exists today, and the water used to irrigate a field in Haryana may have flowed down the Amazon river 100 years ago. Okay, and the major source of fresh water are river, ponds, spring and glaciers. So students, in last video tutorial we were reading about tsunami. So what is tsunami? Tsunami is a series of water waves caused by the displacement of large volume of body of water, usually an ocean. Okay. So what are the cause of tsunami? Main cause of tsunamis are earthquake, volcanic eruption, underwater explosion and meteoroid impacts. So these are the cause of tsunami. So earthquake, volcano eruption, landslide, underwater earthquake and underwater landslide. So students, these are the cause of the tsunamis. Okay. So in the last video tutorial also we were reading about the tsunami. So let's complete this topic in this video tutorial. Size of tsunami. Tsunami have an extremely long wavelength. Wavelength is the distance between the crest top of one wave and the crest of the next wave. Okay, so this is known as the wavelength. Okay, means wavelength means this, the waves जो length होती है that is known as the wavelength. Wavelength is the distance between the crest means top one wave and the crest of next wave. Okay, that is known as the tsunamis. Okay, so up to the several hundred miles long the period, the time between two successive waves is also very long, about an hour in deep water. In the deep sea, the tsunami's highest can be only about 1 meter tall. Tsunamis are often barely visible when they are in the deep sea. They make tsunami detection in the deep sea very difficult. So a tsunami can travel at well over 917 kph to 600 mph in the open ocean as fast as a jet flies. Okay, जितनी तेजी से जेट आता है उतनी ही तेजी से जेट प्लेन उतनी ही तेजी से एक सुनामी ट्रेवल करती है. It can take only a few hours for a tsunami to travel across an entire ocean. The regular wave generated by the wind travel at up to about 90 km per hour. So now a fact about tsunami. Tsunami should not be known as tidal wave. Tsunami is not a tidal wave. Tsunami are something incorrectly called tidal waves. Tsunami are not caused by the tide. Okay, students. Tsunami are not caused by the tide. Tsunami are not caused by any tides, are caused by gravitational force of the moon or the sea. So regular waves are caused by the winds. Is I have also shown you that what are the cause of tsunami, that these are the underwater earthquake, underwater volcano eruption, underwater landslides. So these are the some cause of the tsunami. If the first part of a tsunami to reach land is a tough is a throw called a drawback rather than a wave crest. The water along the shoreline recedes dramatically, exposing normally submerged area. मीन्स जब सुनामी आने वाला होता है तो क्या होता है, जो उससे पहले पानी आगे आने के बजाय पानी जो है वो पीछे हटना शुरू कर देता है, मीन्स बैक की साइड जाना शुरू कर देता है, और जो एरिया पानी में डूबा था वो पहले खाली हो जाता है. ठीक है. So most tsunami, about 80%, happen within the Pacific Ocean, a ring of fire. A geological activity are where tectonic shift make volcanoes and earthquakes common. So a tsunami may be less than a foot, 30 centimeter in height on the surface of the ocean, which is why they are not noticed by the sailor, but the powerful shock wave of energy travel rapidly. So through the ocean as fast as a commercial jet, once a tsunami reaches shallow water near the coast, it is slow down. Okay, because ocean is very deep, that's why जब तक अगर नीचे अंडर वाटर बहुत ही अंदर वो सुनामी स्टार्ट होती है, दैट मीन टॉप तक पहुंचते पहुंचते उसकी जो स्ट्रेंथ होती है वो काफ़ी वीक हो जाती है, एंड द ड्रॉप ऑफ द वेव मूव्स फास्टर दैन द बॉटम, causing the sea of the rise dramatically. Geological features such as reef, bays, rivers, and entrance and undersea formation may dissipate the energy of a tsunami. In some places, a tsunami may cause by sea to raise vertically only a few inches or feet. Flooding can extend inland by the 1,000 feet, 300 meters or more. The enormous energy of a tsunami can lift giant boulders, flip vehicles, and demolish houses. Means tsunamis are very dangerous. So, knowledge of a history of tsunami in your area is a good indicator of what is likely to happen in a future tsunami event. So, the 2004 ocean tsunami could rank as the most devastating or recur more than lakhs people lost their lives, and many of them washed out of the sea. Means lots of the people were died because of the tsunami in 2004. So what are the warning signs of tsunami? Let's read about it. An earthquake is a natural tsunami warning. If you feel a strong quake, do not stay in a place where you are exposed to a tsunami. Means if you feel earthquake, so do not stay near the sea. If you hear of an earthquake, be aware of the possibility of the tsunami and listen to the radio or television for additional information. Remember that an earthquake can trigger killer wave thousands of miles across the ocean and many hours after the event generated a tsunami. So witnesses have reported that an approaching tsunami is sometimes preceded by a noticeable fall or rise in the water level. If you see the ocean receding unusually rapidly or far, it's good sign that a big wave is on its way. Go to high ground immediately. Means whenever you will see that the water of the ocean is going backward, means if you notice that the water level is decreasing in the ocean, then you should understand that it is a sign of the tsunami. Wave is on its way, so go high ground immediately. Many people were killed by the Indian Ocean tsunami because they went down on the beach to view the retreating ocean exposing. उन्हें जब सुनामी आने वाला था तो क्या हो रहा था, इंडियन ओशियन के पास में जो पानी है वो पीछे की तरफ जा रहा था, तो लोग जो है ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा नंबर में इकट्ठे हो गए नियर बाय द सी टू वॉच दिस सीन. So experts believe that the reciting ocean may give people as much as 5 minutes warning to evacuate the area. So remember that a tsunami is a series of waves and that the first wave may not be the most dangerous. The dangers from a tsunami can last for several hours after the arrival of the first wave. So a tsunami Wave trend may come as a series or surge that are 5 minutes to an hour apart. The cycle may be marked by the repeated retreat and advance of the ocean. Survivors of the Indian Ocean tsunami reported that the sea surged out as fast as the powerful as it comes ashore. Many people were seen being swept due to out to sea when the ocean retreated. A tsunami surge may be small at one point on the shore and large at another point a shore distance away. Do not assume that because there is a minimal sign of tsunami in one place, it will be like that everywhere else. Tsunami can travel up river and stream that lead to the ocean. Stay away from rivers and streams that lead to the ocean also. As you would stay away from the beaches and ocean if there is a tsunami, it's always a good idea to keep a store of emergency supplies that include sufficient medication, water, and other essentials sufficient for at least 72 hours. Tsunami, earthquake, hurricane, and emergency can develop with little or no warning. Plan for a tsunami. Develop a family disaster plan. Learn about tsunami risk in your community. If you are visiting an area at risk from tsunami, like if you are visiting beaches, so check with the hotel, motel, or campground operators for tsunami evacuation information. Plan an evacuation route means भागने के लिए कोई रास्ता ढूंढो from your home, school, workplace, or any other place you will be where tsunami present a risk. Practice your evacuation route. Use a NOAA weather radio with a tone alert feature to keep you informed of local watches and warning. Discuss tsunami with your family. Assemble a disaster supplies kit also. Here you can see on your screen these are some tsunami destruction. Now, our next important topic is tide. Student, now I want to ask one question. What objects will have a gravitational attraction to the earth? That is sun and moon. Okay. So which one has a greater gravitational pull on the earth's tide? So that is moon because moon is near the earth in comparison of the sun. So student, what is the tide? The rise and fall of the ocean water are called tides. Okay, the rise and falls of the ocean water called the tides. The moon exerts a gravitational pull on the earth that causes the ocean to rise and fall. So why does the moon have a great gravitational pull on the earth's tide? Because it is closer to the earth. So let's understand the tide by the pictures also. The moon's gravitational pull caused the oceans to bulge. Here you can see bulging to the ocean towards the moon. You can see पानी जो है वो ऊपर की तरफ उठता है. That is the bulges to the ocean. So that is known as the high tide. High tide. And here जहाँ पे पानी ऊपर की तरफ नहीं है, that is known as the low tide. Here is also that is the high tide, and here also that is the low tide. Okay. The ocean bulge in two places. The side of the earth facing the moon and the opposite side of the earth, the side of the earth facing away from the moon. So each of these bulges causes a high tide and low tide. You can see in the yellow arrow. At the same time, low tide occur between the two bulges. The high tides always follow the moon. You can see the high tide always follow the moon. Here you can see in these pictures. Tidal range, the difference between the level of ocean water and high and low tide is known as the tidal range. How many high tides and low tides occur each day? So that is 2. How long does it take for the earth to rotate once on its axis? 24 hours. Okay, that's why one day is equal to 24 hours. How many hours are there between a high tide and a low tide? That is 6 hours. How many hours are there between two high tides? That is 12 hours. At any given time, the day, how many high tides are there? So there are two high tides. Types of tides, that is, high tides that are higher than normal are called spring tides. This also means that the low tide is lower than the normal during the spring tide. Spring tides occurs during the full moon and a moon phase. So you can see when the sun and the earth and the moon are in the same direction, this causes spring tides. The gravitational pull of the sun and moon are combined together. Since the sun, earth and moon are in a straight line, you can see in this picture. So high tide that are lower than usual are called neap tide. This means that the high tide are not very high and the low tides are not very low. Neap tides occur during the first and last quarter moon phase, means when the sun and the earth make 90-degree angle, that means it will make a neap tides. This means that the moon's gravitational pull is separately cancelled out by the sun's gravitational pull. Okay, I hope now this topic is clear to you, the tides of the earth. Now student, our next topic is ocean current. Ocean currents are stream of water flowing constantly on the ocean surface in definite direction. You can see on your screen also. The ocean currents may be warm or cold. So generally the warm ocean currents originate near the equator and move towards the pole, because poles are cold and equators are hot. तो जो hot जो ocean current होते हैं, they moves from the equator and moves towards the poles, and the cold currents carry water from polars to higher latitude to tropical of lower latitude, and the Labrador's ocean current is cold current, while the Gulf Stream is a warm current, and the ocean current influence the temperature condition of the area. Warm currents bring about warm temperature over land surface, and the area where the warm and cold currents meet provide the best fishing ground of the world. Seas around Japan and the eastern coast of North America are such examples. The area where a warm and cold current meets and experience foggy weather, making it difficult to navigation. So this is the ocean current. So students, ocean current are stream of water flowing constantly on the ocean surface in definite direction, and the ocean current may be warm or cold. Generally, the warm ocean current originates near the equator and move towards the poles. The cold currents carry water from poles or higher latitude to tropical of lower latitude, and the Labrador ocean current is cold current, while the Gulf Stream is warm current, and the ocean current influence the temperature condition of the area. Warm currents bring about warm temperature over land surface, and the area where there is warm and cold current meet provide the best fishing ground. Okay, you can see student on your screen, this is the equator, because on the equator sun rays fall directly, so all the warm ocean currents rays from here and they move towards the poles, towards the cold. Okay, and the cold moves towards the equator. Okay, and where the hot and colds meet, it's provide a uh, good condition for the fishing, and the area where the warm and cold currents meet provide the best fishing ground of the world. And sea around Japan and eastern coast of North America are such example. The area where a warm and cold current meet also experience foggy weather, making it difficult for navigation.